Why do we feel afraid to speak English? Learning a new language is exciting, but when it comes to speaking, many people feel nervous. You are not alone. Fear of speaking English is common, and it happens for several reasons. First, your brain is not used to thinking in English. It takes time to switch from your native language. When you speak your native language, words come naturally, but in English, you may need extra seconds to find the right word. This pause can make you feel insecure. Second, we fear making mistakes. Many learners worry that they will say something wrong, and others will laugh. But here's a secret. Most people don't care about your mistakes. They just want to understand you. In fact, native speakers are used to hearing different accents and grammar mistakes, and they usually appreciate the effort you make to speak their language. Finally, the fear of judgment is real. You might think, what if my accent is bad? What if I sound stupid? But accents are normal. Every English speaker has an accent. Even native speakers from different countries sound different. Instead of worrying about sounding perfect, focus on communicating your ideas. Another reason people fear speaking English is past negative experiences. Maybe someone corrected you in a rude way, or you felt embarrassed when you forgot a word. But remember, one bad experience does not define your ability to improve. Every mistake is a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to fluency. Accept that mistakes are part of learning. Think about a time when you made a mistake in your native language. Did anyone laugh at you? Probably not, because small mistakes happen all the time, and people don't even notice them. The same is true when speaking English. Most of the time, native speakers don't care if you make a grammar mistake or use the wrong word. They just focus on understanding what you are saying. In fact, making mistakes can actually help you learn faster. Imagine two people. One speaks English often but makes mistakes, and the other waits until their English is perfect before speaking. Who do you think will improve faster? The first person, of course. Because the more you speak, the more you learn. Every mistake is a chance to discover something new. Here's a challenge. Next time you talk to someone in English, don't stop to correct yourself. Just keep going. If you forget a word, try to explain it in another way. If you say something wrong, laugh about it and continue the conversation. This way, you will build confidence and stop feeling afraid of small errors. Another helpful tip is to learn from your mistakes in a positive way. If you realize you said something wrong, write it down and look up the correct way to say it. Keep a mistake journal and review it once a week. Over time, you will notice that the same mistakes start disappearing from your speech. Mistakes are not failures. They are proof that you are learning and improving. So don't be afraid of them, embrace them. Practice thinking in English. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with speaking English is because they try to translate everything in their heads before saying it. This takes time and makes speaking feel slow and difficult. The solution? Start thinking in English. At first, this might feel hard, but the key is to start with simple things. When you wake up in the morning, instead of thinking, say to yourself, I need to brush my teeth. When you see a tree outside, think, that tree has green leaves. These small moments of English thinking will add up over time. A great exercise is to describe your surroundings out loud. Imagine you are a tour guide, and you have to explain what you see. For example, if you are in a cafe, you could say, this cafe is very cozy. The walls are painted yellow, and there are pictures of famous musicians on them. The smell of fresh coffee is in the air. Another fun way to practice is by setting English-only time in your day. Choose 30 minutes when you will only think in English. If you find it difficult, try carrying a small notebook and writing down words you don't know so you can look them up later. You can also ask yourself questions in English. Before bed, think about your day. What was the best part of my day? What did I eat for breakfast? What do I need to do tomorrow? Over time, your brain will get used to processing English naturally, and you will speak faster and more confidently. Speak, even if you are not ready. Many English learners believe they should wait until they are ready to speak. But here's the truth, you will never feel completely ready. If you wait for the perfect moment, you might wait forever. The best time to start speaking is now. One way to make speaking easier is to use conversation templates. These are simple phrases that you can use in many situations. For example, instead of feeling nervous about how to answer, "How are you?" practice different ways to respond. "I'm doing well, thanks. How about you?" "Not bad, just a little tired today. I had a great weekend. I went to the park with my friends." By preparing phrases in advance, you will feel more confident when speaking. Another tip is to practice speaking alone before talking to others. Stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Pretend you are ordering food at a restaurant. "Hi, I'd like a cheeseburger with fries, please. Can I get a coffee with milk and no sugar?" The more you practice speaking out loud, the more natural it will feel when you speak to real people. Also, don't be afraid to start conversations in English, even with strangers. If you are traveling or in an international setting, try asking someone for directions, making small talk with the cashier, or simply saying, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" The more you put yourself in speaking situations, the less fear you will feel.
Anna's story, overcoming the fear of speaking. Anna, a 25-year-old from Spain, had always loved English. She watched movies, listened to music, and even read books in English. But when it came to speaking, she felt terrified. Whenever she had to talk to someone, she froze. Words disappeared from her mind, and she felt embarrassed about her accent. One day, she had a chance to practice English in real life. An American tourist in Madrid asked her for directions. She knew exactly how to answer, but she was so nervous that she just pointed and mumbled. That way, the tourist looked confused, thanked her, and walked away. Anna felt frustrated with herself. That night, she made a decision. She would not let fear control her anymore. She started speaking English to herself every day. She described her breakfast, her plans, and even her dreams. Then, she joined an English conversation group in her city. The first time she spoke, her voice was shaky, and she made mistakes. But to her surprise, no one laughed. Instead, people listened patiently and encouraged her. She realized that her fear was in her head. A year later, Anna traveled to London. She ordered food at restaurants, asked for directions confidently, and even made friends. She still made mistakes, but she no longer let them stop her. She had learned the secret: the more you speak, the less afraid you become.
Practical ways to speak English with confidence. 1. Start with simple conversations. You don't need complicated words to communicate. Learn basic conversation starters. "Hi, how are you? What do you do for a living? What are your hobbies?" If you struggle with speaking, write down 10 simple questions and practice answering them. 2. Use fillers to sound more natural. Native speakers use fillers when they think. Instead of staying silent, say, "Well, you know, actually." Example, instead of "I like pizza," say, "Well, Ank pizza is really delicious." 3. Ask questions to keep the conversation going. If you don't know what to say, ask questions. "What do you think about? Can you recommend a good book? How was your weekend?" 4. Practice common situations. Prepare for real-life conversations by practicing phrases for different situations. At a restaurant, "Can I have the menu, please?" At a store, "How much does this cost?" On the phone, "Can I speak to John, please?" How to find people to practice with. Language exchange apps. Try apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. English clubs. Many cities have conversation meetups. Online communities. Join Facebook groups or Reddit communities for English learners. Practice with a tutor. Websites like Italki or Preply can connect you with teachers. Daily exercises to improve your speaking skills. 1. Shadowing. Listen to native speakers and repeat after them. 2. Talk to yourself. Describe your day, your plans, or your surroundings. 3. Read out loud. This improves pronunciation and fluency. 4. Record yourself. Listen to your own speech and find areas to improve. Final words, just speak. Fear disappears with practice. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Even small conversations will help you grow. Speaking English is like learning to swim. You can't do it by reading a book. You have to jump into the water. So go ahead, talk to people, and enjoy your journey to fluency.